Guidelines for getting out of a death trap building. Delivery person, courier, or messenger. Take note, our work sometimes requires us to go into dangerous areas. You will not die if you follow these guidelines. I worked as a process server in Maryland's PG County. This really ancient office building in the middle of nowhere was where I had to serve a subpoena. There was a filthy blank wall in the center of the building, 2 elevators, and no security or anybody at the front desk. First rule, if you don't see anybody, do enter the elevator. Imagine being trapped. Nobody is going to rush to the top of the steps to let you in. This building's elevator was somewhat outdated. As soon as I entered, I saw that there was just an even number of floors and no L for the lobby. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and 12. Rule 2. Confirm that you are aware of the floor with the exit. Since level 2 was the lowest number, I figured it must be the lobby. That was a grave error. I had to deliver a subpoena to a 6th floor insurance agent. A slender hallway's elevator opened at one end. The atmosphere was heavy. It was oppressive. A window was absent. None of the office doors seemed to be making any noise. I could hear the ball buzzing since it was so quiet. Rule 3. Examine the layout of the structure. When I knocked on the insurance agent's office door, nobody picked up. The winding hallway began to make me queasy. I quickly made my way back to the elevator and used the arrow down button to exit. The lift door parted. When I entered, every number seemed strange. 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, and so on. Rule 4. Always leave via the same entrance. Do not select the alternative option if it were to offer itself. Somehow, I would make it to the lobby via the elevator. I just clicked on 3. However, nothing took place. Button was not illuminated. I was astonished to find myself moving up when the elevator door closed. Has anybody made a call about it? Why didn't anybody escape when it opened on my floor? Rule 5. Never go into the shadows. It led to the 13th floor. It was pitch black. Who made this call up here? I became anxious. It was all quite unsettling. I was aware that I had to leave this area as quickly as possible. I re-entered the elevator. The elevator door was shutting when I sensed something in the shadows. Then the door closed and I heard snarling. I began to feel anxious. The lift descended a great distance. It led to a small, straight corridor with just one door. The elevator that I was on was the only one there was. This astonished me. One lengthy corridor to a single door. I exited the elevator to try to open the door, but it was locked. 6th rule. Never presume that a fire escape door is unlocked. Fire escape doors are always locked even though they shouldn't be. Businesses fear thieves more than they do fire. While doing my duties, I was always trapped at a fire exit. Turning around, however, was something I wasn't prepared for, something that made my heart stop. The elevator's call button was missing. Rule 7. Go back outside and phone someone to let them know where you are if there is no signal. It could well save your life. How would I leave the place? I returned to the door. I attempted to take a quick look out of the dim little rectangular glass on the door. A maid was resting against the window. As I could see, I was overjoyed to have discovered someone. Just as I was going to give her a call, I observed something strange about her demeanor. Rule 8. Observe what a person is doing before approaching them. The housekeeper only gazed vacantly out the window. Abruptly, she grabbed a pigeon out of the window and started to eat it. She gave the bird a strong chew. She continued to choke on the bird, even though it was almost the size of her head. Then she raised her head and attempted to swallow it with the aid of gravity. She gave it one more good bite, and the bird's body squirted blood all over her face as its legs twitched and its wings fluttered. Additionally, blood trickled across her clothing. She turned slightly in my direction, and I swiftly dove under. It's almost like I peed my trousers. What location is this? Now I was really afraid, unaware that the pigeon-eating woman could have seen me. I fled back to the elevator. There was no button to press, so I gave the elevator a forceful knock. It surprised me when the door opened. I believe it was never gone. All right, if this is 3, let's go up one level to 5. I increased to 5 while keeping that woman in mind. Other than consuming live pigeons, she didn't seem human. She seemed to be a different entity posing as a human. The 5th floor seemed to be an exact replica of the 6th story. I went to the stairs after getting out of the elevator. I just down one level, and it ended in a dead end. The stairs just came to an end. I bolted up the steps again. I reasoned that because I was on the 4th level, one story below the 5th, I should be on the 6th floor if I ran up 2 flights. As I stood up, I saw the 2nd story sign. I wanted to weep because I felt so lost and angry. Isn't the lobby supposed to be on the 2nd floor? Rule 9. Recognize when the environment is unfriendly. I have been acting as if this building might be comprehended if one tried up until now. However, it was now evident that the structure was intended to ensnare me within. It was intentional that there were no windows in the passageway between any of the levels. I also just came to a realization. What I violated rule number 3. The elevator was in the center of the lobby, although it was always at one end of the hallway as it opened to each level, and another elevator surfaced on its side. That implied a division of the structure in two, and that 4 elevators may possibly be present. 2 go to nothing, and just 2 lead to the exit. Rule 10. Do something unusual if the environment is intended to perplex ordinary people. I applied pressure. A lift door opened. This one was a decoy and an odd number one. I got into this one, pushed the button to go up, and then I swiftly got out of the elevator before pushing the button again in the hopes of calling up another. The adjacent elevator opened. This one was balanced. I wrote my first one first. 2 was the lowest number. Intriguingly, because I was already on 2, nothing occurred when I pushed it. I hit the 6, and instead of rising, it fell. Rule 11. Go return to the point where the initial incident occurred. I found myself back on the 6th story, the location of the insurance agent's office. When the elevator door opened, I recalled that it didn't take me long to get to this level after leaving the actual lobby. I proceeded to this floor's stairwell and descended. Then I caught sight of it, the entrance hall. Through the door, I could see it. However, it was locked. Rule 12. Break everything to go to an exit if you see one. To begin with, they had no authority to trap you. I knew that the construction would not be fair. I broke through the glass. I heard the sound of heavy footsteps running down and the loud opening of the stairway door above. Just as I was pulling one leg out of the little rectangular hole, I hurriedly climbed out, not wanting to find out which of the 2 live things on the 13th story was coming down, thinking that the only living things I had encountered in this building were the pigeon-eating woman and the growling, furious voice. That was rather close. Then, even in the center of a busy metropolis, there are some strange office buildings.